is up, guys? Eyes here. And I said before that I was gonna do stories of my life, I'm gonna call it. Not because I'm a One Direction fan, but because, I just want to share little bits and pieces of my life with you guys. And my learn from mistake moments and see if you guys can take from my mistakes and do something better if the situation ever arises. But yeah, when I said I was gonna do this, I had the very first story that I had envisioned was something that happened to me over the course of the summer of this year. So probably about a month ago, 2 months ago, this happened to me, and I feel at fault. Like, I really think, I think I am at fault in this situation, but I'm gonna let you guys decide that. So, here's the story. I was at JCLC camp for about a week, which is basically they take high school kids in ROTC, and they take them out to a military base, and you actually get the experience of what actual training is like, I guess. Just not a few stuff, just a few stuff, not anything too over exceeding, I guess. But yeah, you basically get the whole gist, like you get the gist of the training in your camp formation. But anyway, here's the story. So when I was there, I met these awesome people. I made a whole bunch of new friends. And the story's gonna focus around the close knit of friends that I made in the first day of me being there. And this actually did start off on the first day, and it kind of escalated the next 4 days or so. So I was friends with this sweet girl. Let's call her Cheryl for identity reasons, safety purposes, actually. If you guys feel like this was a bitch of her when I tell you what she did, that I wouldn't want to give out her real name and you go freaking hunt her down or something. But anyway, let's call her Cheryl. So Cheryl was sweet, she was nice, and Cheryl had the hots for this guy that we'll call David. Now David, he was a pretty shy guy. And he had told us that, he had told me that he had grew up and basically no one talked to him. He was basically getting ignored for the very first part of his life. And that's pretty fucking sad. I mean, who ignores somebody for the first half of their life? That's terrible. Make friends with people. If you see someone in your school or around in your workplace and they seem like they don't hang out or they don't have friends, make friends with that person. There's nothing wrong. Make friends with a person. We need more friends in life, okay? And just that. And basically Cheryl had the hots for David. And but she wouldn't confront David because she was too shy herself to speak with her senpai. So basically, it was my own and my fellow friends. He said his name was Jeff, but I didn't believe him. I think his name is Jeff, but I still don't believe it because he said the way that he says his name is Jeff is just like Channing Tatum from 22 Jump Street. If you can imagine that. So we have it was mine, Jeff, Victoria's, and Jamie's idea to try to get these two to interact to the point that, sparks could fly, fireworks go off before July, that kind of jazz. And, it was slow, your typical high school shy people, and you kind of push them together like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, slices, and you try to get them to, stay, but no, Cheryl, let's say she's the peanut butter. The peanut butter always wants to freaking go. No, it's not. The peanut butter sticks to the bread. So That's Cheryl's the jam. Cheryl is the jam, and Cheryl just wants to move all over the place and not stick with David. And so it was until to a point where we had to physically leave. We were all in a group together. We were all in a semicircle, and Cheryl and David were face to face with each other, and then I gave the signal, which was basically a caw-caw, caw-caw. They looked at me like I was crazy. Not before we all dispersed and ran out of there as fast as lightning, and they were left alone in the field together. Well, it wasn't field, but they were kind of left alone. Everybody else was around, but at a distance, and we were kind of at a distance from them. We were just chilling out under this big tree, picnic tables type deal, just watching them be awkward with each other. And so, this went on a course. I think nothing happened until probably the second? Yeah, I'd say the second. The second day, or the third. I think it's the third day. So by the third day, I'm alone with David. And I asked David, how do you feel about Cheryl? How do you feel? And he just shrugs his shoulders. And at this point, I'm getting pissed. And I'm like, David, give me a straight answer. I don't know what your body language means. Give me a straight answer. He was like, well, fine then. If you could give me a pen and a piece of paper, I'll write it out for you. And you know what I did? Like, before this even happened, we had gone on the rifle range and shot our rifles, and I had kept my target, and so I pulled out my target from my pocket and a pen, and I was like, here you go, write it down right now. And it was like, dang, I didn't know you had this. So he couldn't, back out of this. He had to. So he basically wrote it down and handed it back to me, and I looked at it with such it's like when you get the secret cheat to a game that you've been playing for a very long time and you couldn't find the cheat anywhere, and you find the magical cheat and you unlock it for the very first time and you're so eager to see what it is. Basically, on that piece of paper target that he wrote, he said same, and I was like, you do? You like Cheryl? And he just nodded. I was like, I gotta tell Cheryl. And so we went over to the water buffalo, which is a big Bessie of a thing that keeps our water, because we gotta stay hydrated. No one wants to pass out over there at JCLC camp doing God knows what. So basically, Cheryl was over by the water buffalo, and I kind of sped walk over to her, now with grinning from ear to ear, and I was like, hey Cheryl, I gotta tell you something. She's like, I gotta tell you something too. Me first. David likes you. And I shit you not, these are the exact words she said to me. Oh, I don't like him anymore. With a smile on her face. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I like somebody else. And I happened to glance over at this guy that had been getting his water, who she'd been standing next to. Now, when people are lined up to get water at the water buffalo, you can tell who's with who. People who are lined up next to each other are together, and people who are lined in a single file line, they're just waiting to get their water. But she happened to be standing next to this guy, and so I look at this guy, and I look back at her, and I'm saying, is this guy? You like this guy? She's like, shh, yes. I'm like, what are you gonna tell David? And she was saying, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? That's it. I can't do this anymore. Put my hands up and I walked backwards out of there. I looked around for Jeff, and I got Jeff and took him to the side and said, Jeff, I just told Cheryl that David likes her and she doesn't like him anymore. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, she likes that guy that she's standing next to. And he looked over and he's like, oh, hell no! She a hoe. I'm like, oh my god, Jeff. And so, David goes over there to go talk to her. And then I look at her, and then when me, Jeff, and Victoria are speaking about this, she comes over with David, And I asked David, what did she tell you? And he said, keep your chin up and have your dignity. We'll always be friends. And I looked at her like, oh no you didn't, bitch. She didn't tell you. And he was like, tell me what? She likes somebody else. And I pointed him out. I was like, I looked at Jeff and I looked at Victoria and I was like, let's go bank him. We're gonna go fuck him up. Cheryl was so quick to jump on me. She put her hands around my throat and said, no! I was like, oh my god, Cheryl, stop it! Stop it! And so, it was kind of... It wasn't as awkward as first. It was just kind of bad. Because she didn't tell him exactly what was going on. And basically had to hear it from somebody else. And so... I think it was the next day. The entire time, David was pacing back and forth, really upset about it. And he had told me that, well, he didn't tell me. Cheryl told me first that he had went up to the guy that she liked currently, not him anymore. She had liked the new guy that she traded in for David. And basically, he had said, fuck you, to his face, and walked away. And then he told me that's what he said, and he did indeed say that. And so the entire time the entire day, I tried my hardest to think of ways I gave him some advice, I tried to think of something, I wanted him to basically stop thinking about it because he would only hurt himself in the long run, and I wanted him to focus on positive things like, don't even worry about it, dude. It was just, this is camp. You're not even gonna remember this, basically. But no, he was caught up on it. There were times where he forgot and he let it go, but the other times it came back and he was upset again. So basically, I tried to refrain from asking him if he was okay and was he thinking about it so that he wouldn't think about it again because I was afraid. And so, a good friend of mine's and Cheryl's is Keith. And Keith, I brought Keith over and started talking to Keith like, hey, could you help me? David's really upset about Cheryl. And we decided to go talk to Cheryl about this, see if she could say something to David to, make him get over this. So we took Cheryl to the side. She was basically... This is where we found Cheryl. Cheryl was talking with her crush and a couple other guys. So we took her to the side, and we basically told Cheryl, hey... David's really upset that, you did this. Could you, say something to him? Help, cheer him up or something? And basically, I shit you not, again, this is what she said. I don't care. With the biggest smile on her face. And then my mouth has not hit the ground that hard before. Also Keith's. And Keith, this is what Keith said immediately after she said, I don't care, and smiled. He was like, are you high? And she dropped to the ground laughing her ass off. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I was speechless. My mouth was still gaping at just the thought of her not giving a shit about hurting somebody's feelings. And so I kind of noped it out of there. Went back to David and tried, again, with the cheering up and the advice and the, hey, are you okay? And the, you need your space, to give you your space. And, just a thing about, their relationship I don't think it ever got better after that time. He would still go around her and talk amongst her and the other guys that were around her. I guess it was because he had still had feelings for her, but he was still upset about the fact that she we never told David that she didn't give a shit about his feelings, because that would, I was afraid of the outcome. Like, what would this guy do if he knew this? I already told him the fact that she had lied to his face about liking somebody else, but I wasn't going to be the one to say that she did not give a shit about his feelings. So I never told him. I don't think I don't think Keith told him either. I hope not. And so I think something happened. It was on the fourth day that we went out. And we went out to the obstacle course and the rappelling tower, and after we all sat about just chilling for the other platoon to get off the rappelling tower. And I was sitting amongst my friends Amanda and a guy we called Mickey Mouse because of his great impressions, and because of the fact that he's so gosh dang funny. And we were sharing this. I had told them like what had happened. And the fact that I feel really bad for David. And then I forgot when it was. I think this was around the time I was standing about and talking with both Keith and David about, bullshit. I think we were talking about some guy that Cheryl was hanging around who we thought was gay, but he just acted gay and we just thought he was gay. And Keith is gay. And he likes boys. And he was talking about how he was checking out this guy. And so, well, Keith went to go talk to the guy, I guess. I was standing about, and some guy came around and started talking to David and said, "Hey, is that the girl you were going to ask out?" And he was like, "I used to." And I immediately looked to Cheryl and I was like, "You could have had something, bitch." Also, another thing to know, guys, the guy that she liked, that she dumped David for, basically, he has a girlfriend, and he keeps her picture in because it's a JCLC military base camp, we were all wearing our ACU, so, boots, hats, belts, canteens, the works. He basically had a picture of his girlfriend in his cap. And the night back in the barracks, and I was talking amongst Cheryl, Nicole, and Amanda. I had told her this, and this is what she said. She's like, "I don't care. She don't know me. I'll steal him away from her." I'm like, oh my fucking god, Cheryl. What the fuck? What the fuck? And she just laughed, so, it was crazy. But, I didn't necessarily hate her. Like, I couldn't hate anybody. I would probably hate somebody if they hurt somebody physically. Also, a tad bit emotionally. Like, really out there emotionally, but she didn't know, so it was kind of okay, I guess. But I was still her friend. I still had to be there for her because I felt like it wasn't her fault, because she indeed was a really nice girl. I think it is because the fact that we tried to get them together, it kind of rushed her mentality to think that she could be in a relationship, or she wasn't emotionally ready for a relationship. It wasn't emotionally ready for the consequences of hurting somebody's feelings, and I feel like that's our fault, mostly mine. And so that's why I couldn't necessarily hate her or dislike her. I was still there because I'm just saying, she was still cool. She was still a good-ish person. We just kind of played around with it, really. Like, the last night in the barracks, like after the dance party, before I say that, see, after this whole stuff blew over, and I was and Cheryl wouldn't hang out with me or David or Keith. She wouldn't necessarily hang out with us around David because she thought it was gonna be really awkward, so she kind of stuck away from us. But he would still go to that group of friends because I felt either it was because he liked that group of friends, I kind of thought that he still had feelings for her, and he was just denying it, I guess. But, I think it was, around that time, like, we were going to this dance party. It was on the 5th day. We were going to a dance party. And all the cadets were gonna rock out and dance and other whatnot. Like, we're a couple high schoolers in school all over again. And, basically, I was telling Amanda and Nicole, I said to Cheryl, I only told Cheryl that I like somebody, but I wouldn't tell her who it was, and she had to guess, but she couldn't guess. But I told Amanda, and I told Nicole, and I told Mary that not spewing from my mouth. I told them via note style, because I'm also shy when I get into those kind of feelings. That I think I said I started to catch feelings for David. And I didn't want to, I was like, because I professed it too much, like, it's like, am I catching feelings for this guy? I caught the feelings. I caught them. I had actually grown a fondness over this guy. This poor guy who got his heart ripped out of his chest and stomped on by the girl he liked for the very first time. Actually, no, the second time, because he had told me a similar situation happened years prior. But that's beside the point. And so, after the dance, we went back to the barracks, and we were talking, and I finally told her, Cheryl, I like David. And she looked at me and she's like, you like David? And started to laugh in my face. And I was like, yeah. Stop laughing. It was also the fact that, so, like, that night, we didn't, like, when lights were out, me and Cheryl didn't actually go to sleep. We were kind of joking back and forth about her being with the guy that she had liked, and also Nicole, who had this with another guy in our squad, who she caught talking with a lot. It was really a friendly kind of talk, not so I got feelings for you kind of talk, but we kind of joked around with her saying, you like him, you guys gonna get together. And she would always deny it. It was so funny. And we would kind of like back and forth. You're going to get with so-and-so. You're going to get with so-and-so. And it's like, you dream about David. I'm like, shut up. And that was basically it. I gave David my number. He never contacted me. I didn't even say, yo, Dave, I got feelings for you, let's trade numbers. I was basically like, hey dude, you're cool and I want to keep talking to you after this, so let's trade numbers. He was like, okay. I gave him his number. I gave him my number, but he never gave me back, so I guess now I'm getting the hint that the fact that maybe he didn't want to talk to me ever again after this. And so, yeah, I just had to deal with that, but the feels weren't there. It was a live and learn situation, but the lesson to be, not the lesson to be learned, the question in this story is, I guess what you guys would have done differently if you were in this situation, or if you ever have been in this situation similar to what I've just told you guys, and hit me up and tell me what you guys would have done or have done differently if this ever arose in your life. I'd like to know what's up. I would love to stop worrying about this, because actually, I don't worry about this. It's just on my mind from time to time when I think about all the cool memories I've made while there and all the cool people that I need to start talking to again. So yeah, this was the very first story of my life video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little piece of my life. Hopefully you guys will see more in the end. Like, this is I, and I'll see you guys later.